An American race hate watchdog claims there's growing neo-Nazi activity within the country's armed forces. The Southern Poverty Law Center wants Congress to look into its findings that dozens of military personnel are registered on white supremacist websites and that homosexuals are being thrown out despite rules to the contrary. RT's Anastasia Churkin is in New York to talk more about this today. Hi there. Now, is this an indication then of a worryingly large racism within the US military?
Well, Kevin, it really looks like it is, but determining exactly how far this problem stretches is extremely hard to do. This is a very difficult task, and the issue itself is by no means easy. What we do know is that human rights groups and hate monitoring groups have been growing extremely concerned here in the United States. One of the main hate monitoring groups in the United States, the Southern Poverty Law Center, has been asking Congress to investigate the issue of racism in the U.S. military. This group has been saying that dozens of people have been registering on a social networking site that identifies itself as for whites, by whites, and about 130 people out of the 7,900 people registered on this website identify themselves as military. Now, another important indicator of how far the problem stretches is that war veterans themselves returning from Iraq, returning from Afghanistan, have been saying, yes, the issue is very widespread. Extremism and racism is really plaguing the U.S. military, and some have suggested that the problem even arises from top commanders, top officials on the ground who express extremist and racist attitudes, and these kinds of approaches go down and are later adopted by soldiers who begin to behave the same way. And war veterans have been saying that rooting out extremism in the U.S. military is going to be a very difficult task just because the problem is so widespread.
Anastasia, when was the alarm first raised about this and what's being done?
Well, Kevin, this issue has been around for several years now. The Bush administration failed to do anything about it. So has the Pentagon, even though it had acknowledged in a 2008 report that the problem has really grown and the issue of racism has become even more serious in the U.S. military. But however, for this issue to be addressed, enormous will and control and really serious approaches from the top need to be taken, and so far analysts have been saying that the U.S. military really has adopted a don't ask, don't tell approach, and this is why the issue is so widespread. Now, this hate monitoring group, which tracks right-wing militia groups and racist groups in the United States, has now called for Congress to investigate this issue. However, whether or not this voice is going to be heard in Washington, D.C. still remains to be seen.
Anastasia Churkin reporting from New York.